Hello, welcome to my channel, The Urban Woman Tarot and Oracle. So I'm going to do a Celtic cross-spread reading with the Greer Tarot, and then I will be clarifying that those cards with the Kipper Deck. Just know that when the Kipper Deck comes out, it is a enter at your own risk, because that card deck there tends to get a whoa. Anyhow. So, alright, Morgan Greer, I'm looking for 10 cards for a Celtic cross-spread reading. What messages do you have for the collective at this time? For the following 30 days. What messages do you have for the collective for the following 30 days? Keep in mind, we still have, we're still in the midst, we've got 1 week left of Mercury retrograde. This probably feels to me like the fastest Mercury retrograde I've ever experienced. There's 1 week left. Usually for me, they're like slow as hell, and it feels like it goes on forever and like it takes forever. I read somewhere yesterday, someone said, you know, we're almost over with Mercury retrograde. And I was like, hold on a second. I had to go back and look at the dates, and like 2 weeks. Because yeah, we're 2 weeks in at the end of the second week, about to go. Well, right now we're in the last week, so it's the first day of the third week, the last week of Mercury retrograde. And I'm just like, man, the time went by fast, like it flew by. All right, Kipper Deck, prepare yourself to clarify. What messages do you have for the collective for the following 30 days? What messages do you have for the collective for the following 30 days? So another side note is Mars just went station. So Mars was in retrograde. You could feel like you know, Mars is the planet of fights and arguments and war. We're the god of war. So it's been in retrograde, which means it's been like the extreme of the god of war. So, or however you word that. My dyslexia, because of Mercury retrograde, has really been on full force. So the past couple of days, you could have felt like a splurge of energy, but it could have been like an angry, somewhat chaotic or sporadic energy. Not saying that, I'm not trying to say that it's angry. It's just like, it's a rush. You kind of feel, you could have felt like antsy, and behind that antsiness could have caused frustration. So it was like, you know, you've got that type of energy where it's anxious. You're kind of on the edge with a little bit of frustration behind it. There, like the past 2 days, even today, could feel very frustrating. And you could really be having to like watch your tongue and your tone when you talk to people. I've been noticing that past 3 days that like people have really been short-tempered. They've been argumentative, combative. But anyway, so that's about to go direct. And then, you know, as soon as this Mercury retrograde goes direct, I think, you know, we will be out of the shadow period by the 1st of February. And when that happens, we will not have any planets in retrograde, I think. And I'm just going to say that when that time comes and I do a reading, hopefully I will remind myself to say we made it, because we've been in back-to-back like 6 months of planets in retrograde. There for a little while we had 7 planets in retrograde at one time, and I think all these planets started in August of last year. So I knew the beginning of or maybe right before going into 2022, because I do like a yearly review of the planets and the retrogrades. And I just thought to myself, going into 2022, like, man, we're about to have like the first half of 2022 would have been easy, like a piece of cake. But then come August, the last half of the year was going to get dark and deep. So we're finally coming out of that now, and we're going to be free and clear of planets in retrograde soon, and I'm really looking forward to that. So let's see what the cards... Okay. So we start out, and keep in mind you're on the opposite end of this, the other side of my table here. So what you're seeing is a mirror reflection of the reading. So right out of the gate, we have the Four of Cups. So you could have been having a gee golly good time past couple weeks. And I mean, your cups are full. It's like, you know, you've got the Three of Cups here, parties, celebrations, and enjoyment, enjoying life, having a good time. And it's almost like too, though, that you're a little bit bored. So you're coming out of, you could have had, because I did have, you know, you're coming out of that high of Christmas, New Year's, the parties, the celebrations. You know, you come out of that almost like a party high. And now here you are, and you're a little bored. Like you may feel like there's like, you're starting to, you know, get a lull in life just a little bit. And there is an opportunity, though, coming in around you. Just know that, and you know, you might be at this time be presented with an opportunity, or have been presented with an opportunity. I would say that there's been an opportunity given, offered, or extended, but you know, you may be reluctant to take it. You may not quite be sure just yet about it. And then of course there goes my chicken putting his 2 cents in. So, you know, this opportunity is coming in somewhat out of the clouds, out of the blue. You might be feeling depressed or feeling stuck or stagnant right now, but keep in mind we are in Mercury retrograde. So right now would be a good time to have a good a good conversation with yourself, taking stock, because there is an opportunity being presented to you, but because of like somewhat the slight apathy or depression or feeling stuck, you may miss this opportunity. So, you know, it's there on the table for the offering, for the choosing. Now, what's challenging you at this moment is this Five of Pentacles in reverse. So at some point in time, this is for someone that really went through, I would say, that has actually recovered from, you know, this is a person that, Lord, boy, my roosters are going nuts right now. So I'm telling you, I've started apologizing a lot in my personal readings that I do, and people that I've given readings to, of course, come back and say, don't apologize, because like when the roosters start calling, like they're calling at the right time because it matches, it's emphasizing what you're saying. So, you know, I guess they're trying to emphasize what I'm saying here. But so what I am saying is, the person that this reading is for, you have actually gone through a financial hardship at some point in time, a struggle. You felt like rejected, or either you were sick, you had a lack of faith in your life or in the circumstances at the moment. You've come through that, so you've come out of that. You are, and it could be because of this that you could be, even though you are feeling better physically, like if you were sick, you have recovered from the sickness, or you're almost at the finish line, but because of this setback and this feeling of being stuck here or feel like you've lost something, you are somewhat, depressed still. You're not fully with it just yet, but because you are, I feel like, in recovery mode. So just know that though you're coming out of this, try to be open and aware of opportunities coming in, because there's something coming out of the cloud over here being presented. See the arm extending through the clouds, through the chaos? So even though you could have taken a financial setback, you could have lost your job. I lost my job. Okay? I lost mine in December, like 2 weeks before Christmas. I'm actually going to say 3 weeks, because we had you could have seen my county we made like headline news across the United States of America, because where I am in North Carolina, some idiot went through and took like an AK, one of those assault type of pium-piums, and shot, UP, the things, the substations where our power is. So our entire county was without power in the freezing cold now, out of power for a whole week. So, I lost a week worth of employment. And then because of that, my employer decided not to reopen. So then, I got laid off. So anyways, I have just been given an opportunity as a different job somewhere else, and I've taken it. So it's like, now I'm on I'm recovering from the financial loss here, and it is Mercury retrograde, so it is taking its sweet time. It is a slow process, but it's coming. Now, because that slowness, and with Mercury retrograde, it is, under the surface, like, it's not coming fast enough. I need it to speed up. But I do know and do have to keep continuing to tell myself that, it's coming. You got to relax, have faith, and trust. It will, it will come out. Or it will, it's like it's being a seed and being planted. You're in the dark first. You've got to be it's like a diamond. A diamond gets formed in the dark under pressure. So you got to just continue with that self-talk and that shadow work. Exactly. So yes, you were definitely, let me push this here up. You were definitely tied and bound to something. Now, this is, I'm speaking about this in the past, in past tense, because this is now you've taken the blindfold off. You are actually able to see a way out of this situation. You see this situation for the truth. You're not sugarcoating it. You're being productive. You're finding the way out. You're taking control, and you're getting back your freedom. So you may just it might just be all a matter of timing at this point. So in the past, all right, so whatever happened in the past around this situation of yours, you don't have good memories of this. So it almost looks as though it's like you're bored, you're wanting your own independence, which, you've gotten it now, but there's maturity in growing up here. There's leaving home. There's independence. So it's like you broke free from something that was not working out for you in the past, but I would say that you were emotionally invested in whatever this was that you were delving in or messing around with in the past, whatever your situation, whether this is regarding a relationship, a job, an opportunity, whatever your circumstance, plug that in. You were kind of somewhat being held down or held back or oppressed from something in the past. So you may have at one point in time not seen a way out. And for example, my job where the owners decided not to reopen, it was a good month. This job was like, the job itself and the owners were like bipolar as hell. 1 week, the job differentiated day to day. You could go in one day and it was like, we're not going to open next week. And you're like, what? And then it's like an hour would go by. Okay, we're going to open. We're fine. Never mind. We're okay. And then, give it like, go back in the next day, and it's like different circumstances. You don't know what the hell you're going to walk into that day. And I kept saying to myself, this job is driving me fucking nuts. I've got to get out of it. I have to find a different job. And I kept telling myself that for like at least a solid month. And even my boyfriend said, it's time for you to like start looking for another job, because this one right here is stressing you out. Like every day I can hear it in your voice. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I do. And I've told myself this. I just haven't done it. And then that daggone power outage thing came about. And so it's like, if you are telling yourself, you're acknowledging and you can see there are changes that you need to make, and you are not like myself, if you're not taking action steps daily to go after those changes that you're telling yourself that you need and want to make, then the universe will come in and create a tower moment, which was, like the substation blow up thing, so that will create a way or an avenue for you to get out. So, I probably could have avoided all of this if I would have started looking for a job sooner and, followed, gone with what I was saying and telling myself, instead of just sticking to my guns and trying to do the right thing. Sometimes, you've got to do what's right for you. That may not be everyone else's opinion, but you can't live by other people and what other people want or need or desire. You've got to do what's right and what's best for you. So you could have had a very similar situation here with a person, place, or thing that I feel like you at one point in time saw that this situation was not good for you. You wanted out of it. You wanted to get away from it. And then it's like you left it. And then once you left it, you could have taken some time to yourself and away from it for a little bit to kind of like process it, deal with it, and recover from it, like heal. And now you're like free and clear of it. And now you're able to see these new opportunities coming in. But I do still feel like there's a little bit of the past that is still there. So just be patient with that time period. Now, there is a lot of cups in this reading. So either you're a water sign watching this, or you've got water in your moon, rising, ascendant, all that good stuff. But I would say, though, even though you've been through this situation here, you're now able to, like, your emotions are good. You have emotionally matured from whatever situation here that this was. You have, I would even say that whatever this was, it did not do you under or do you in. Now, sometimes you go through a situation and it's like sometimes you barely get out unscathed, or you get out with just the straps of your boots, or, whatever that saying is. It almost seems like whatever you left and got out of, that you've like leveled up somehow. So, and that could be, this healing process, because this is a healing process right here. This is recovery from being left out in the cold. So you were left out, kicked out, walked away, did something with something, and you had to somewhat go through a recovery process and heal from that, to where now it's almost like your comeback game is strong. because now you're here able to look at the past, and the maturity, the transmutation, the transformation that has taken place now, you're able to look back at the past and take a healthy stock of the past. You're now able to see, whereas before you may have been blindsided, or you couldn't really see that well, like you could have had the rose tinted glasses on, you couldn't see the situation for its face value, but now I feel like you do. So now with this, now keep in mind too that so here's a little bit of a warning, a caution, because you know she's looking to the past over here. So where she is over this, so where she is here, like this offer coming in, it's to her back. So make sure that you don't focus too much on the past, that you get stuck there, and you've got opportunities coming in behind you. Because I'm almost, hold on a second, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, maybe that's why, because I was starting to feel like the 5 of Cups energy here. We've got 4 cups here, 1 cup there, so that's 5. So it's like, you know, the 5 of Cups is all about focusing on 2 cups, but yet you've got the 3 of Cups behind you, if you would just turn around and look at those and stop focusing on the past. So, you know, I almost get that feeling here that you could be stuck, you know, looking and reflecting back on the past, and you could miss an opportunity coming in, you know, ahead of you. But so I would just say, you know, make sure that you're noticing and paying attention to what's in front of you. You're looking, you know, over the steering wheel and not focused on the rear view mirror. Okay, so I would say at the end of this month, beginning of February, you're going to have a decision to make about which direction you want to go and where you want to take this. So this could be making a decision about this opportunity coming in. I can use myself as another example here. So for me, for an example, you know, I got a job offer, and, you know, it's just basic pay, basic job. But, you know, now they're starting to see that I can do more than what they thought I could do. Because, you know, when you first start somewhere, they give you like a trial and see what you can do. So now they're starting to see that I can do more. So now this could be my boss coming in saying, here, well, can now you do this or this? And, you know, I don't want to be stuck on the pain of the past. Well, I've done that before and it didn't work out. And I'm too scared to do that again because it might not work out again. You know, that's the lack mentality. That's a negative mindset. So here, it's like me looking at the past. Well, you know, how to change that is how to reflect that, or mutate it, or transform it, or make it an ascension mindset. How to ascend from the negative is to say, okay, well, I tried that in the past. It didn't work out then because I wasn't in the right place. It wasn't meant to work out there in that place. But now I'm in the right place, and now this can work here in this place. So it's like, you know, you are moving to a point here in the next couple weeks where you're having more than one option. You've got decisions to make. This is really discovering, and, you know, this is the 2 of Wands. So this is having 2 aces, like two sticks, not just that one. So this is, you know, double enthusiasm, brilliant ideas, the birth of a fresh start, creativity. You know, this is having the energy and the stamina to get it done, especially if you have been feeling tired or exhausted. And this card speaks of exhaustion. So does this card. And also Mercury retrograde. You know, it also impacts our inspiration. It impacts our energy. It can make us tired, and so forth. So there is an opportunity coming in for you. You are going to have to make a decision about it. You may have more than one opportunity because of this Two of Wands here. You know, Two of Wands is about having multiple choices. So, and then we've got a choice here. So it's like, which direction do you want to go? How do you want to handle this? So just be open and aware that opportunities are coming, and you are going to have to make a decision about how to proceed. But just know, if you maintain and let go of the negative mindset and keep a more elevated, like Kyle was saying earlier, mindset, then I feel you will be free and clear of the past, and you will be healed, and you will have transformed and ascended from the old and have embraced a new. Boy, there's a lot of traffic coming by today. Okay. So you at this moment, you may almost feel like things are a little out of control. Okay. You may feel like you don't have your footing, your bearings. You may feel a little off, a little wonky. Trust me, that right there is, you know, Mercury retrograde 101. Okay, if you go look at like what Mercury retrograde signs and symptoms of Mercury retrograde and what it will do to you, it's this card right here. Like, you feel like you feel like you have opposition, a lack of direction, lack of self-discipline, a lack of control. You know, things are out of balance, because when this is upright, you have balance. You know, it doesn't take a lot of effort to have one foot in and one foot out, is what the Chariot means when it's upright. But here it's reversed. So there is, you know, a feeling or a sense here that you don't have a lack of direction. You don't know exactly which way to go right now. And maybe that's why there's some boredom or indecision, or not really able to see things straight right now with this opportunity that's being presented to you. And that's okay, because I'm telling you, you just gotta trust and have faith that when the time comes for Mercury to stop spinning and get itself straightened back out, things will go back to normal. So you've got to really, you know, self-talk and talk yourself through this, because we've got one more week left of it, and then at least another week for it to get straight. And it is a process. So like 2 weeks. Okay, there's 2 weeks here of allowing the energies to do their thing and somewhat strive for balance within that wonkiness. Okay, because it is wonky. I'm gonna tell you, the last Mercury retrograde that was before this one, I think it was in October. Now, there was a day I was doing a parasite cleanse, which I highly recommend. I was doing a parasite cleanse, and on one of the meds, on the medicine that I was taking for the parasite cleanse, it had wormwood in it. Now, in art school, because I went 4 years in art school, okay, we studied the Impressionistic time period, which is my favorite. And then we got to this one picture of this lady who was sitting in a bar with a glass of absinthe in her glass. And, you know, my teacher, she is one of them that went to Woodstock, okay? I'm talking about straight up Woodstock, watched Jimi Hendrix play, saw Janis Joplin, all that shit, okay? My art teacher was a badass. Loved her. Very smart, very talented. Hippie, old soul. So she and I had a conversation about this absinthe, because I'm one of those, you gonna tell me about something, I need to know everything about it. So anyways, this absinthe, she said, you know, one shot of absinthe was equivalent to taking a hit of acid. 2 shots was like taking a handful of mushrooms. And 3 shots was like equivalent to taking, you know, ecstasy, Molly, all that stuff that really, you know, made you trip and hallucinate. And, you know, she had never really ever heard what a 4th one would do to you. And Anyways, so, and it was because absinthe made with wormwood. Now, this one day in particular, I'm, you know, taking this Paragard, this parasite cleanse that has wormwood on it, and I didn't do what the directions said exactly. I tweaked it a little bit, but like on day 20 in October during the Mercury retrograde, when I tell you that all day, that day was trippy. Everything was tripping. And I kept sitting there thinking, I feel like Alice in Wonderland right now. Like, things are like really getting psychedelic. And it would be, you know, for me, when things are really going and, you know, it's like heaven sent, Led Zeppelin, Stairway to Heaven to come on. And I thought to myself, man, if Stairway to Heaven plays right now, and before I could even get now out of my mouth, it came on, and I was like, oh my God. I'm really in tune, but I think this Paragard is really fucking with me right now. So, it was also Mercury retrograde, and on top of that, you throw in that wormwood, that trippy shit, and some things can get really trippy. They were trippy. So, you could be feeling some trippy shit right now from Mercury retrograde. It really depends on which signs it is affecting the most right now, and I'm not exactly sure which signs it's affecting the most. I didn't read into it, but you can Google it and it will tell you. So just know, strive for balance in this wonkiness, because it will right itself in a few weeks. And you know, we got 2, and I kept saying 2 weeks, and then, you know, here's this 2 here. So in your environment, things going on around you, you may feel like you are bound to something. You may feel like you're stuck and tied. I mean, both of these cards here speak of being bound and tied to something. So you very well could be thinking, and you know, too, trust me, you know, this 9 of Swords, this is like a head game right here, okay? This is having anxiety. This is overreacting. You can be feeling in anguish right now, despair, hopelessness. You know, I don't know if exactly for sure, but the air signs, Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra, because this is an air sign card, those could be the ones that are really feeling it the worst at this moment. I heard of someone that's a Gemini earlier today, who I just overheard them talking, and I could tell that by the way they were talking that this Mercury retrograde is really doing a number on them mentally. So it can be that, you know, Mercury retrograde is doing this to you mentally. Now, but this isn't you. This is in your environment. So you could be noticing people around you at this moment. Let me tell you, if you are over here, if you feel like you've come out of whatever situation by the hairs on your chinny chin chin, and you're just like, let me get my bearings straight, you could be knowing that you just kind of like need to sit tight for a second and wait it out, wait for better timing. And you could very well be in a lull. You could be seeing the people around you that are like stressed out, depressed, and have anxiety and are kind of trippy. So you could be seeing people around you, because this is the 9 of Swords in your environment. So you could also, but you could also too be seeing where you could also be seeing the things that have you bound or stuck, or feeling like you've got your hands tied. So it could be that this Mercury retrograde on the mental aspect is at least highlighting and showing you where you feel like you have, and you know, I'm telling you, I've noticed between yesterday and today where I start feeling anxiety ever so often. And I know it's Mercury retrograde because outside of the Mercury retrograde, I haven't been feeling anxious or having anxiety. And it's like it just pops up out of nowhere. So you could be feeling that for yourself. Now, you've got either, and this is the 5 of Swords over here. There's a lot of water cards and a lot of air swords cards, okay? The 5 of Swords is all about battles, arguments, conflict, defeat, surrender, and retreat. Now, this is in your hope sector. So, you know, this guy right here has just had a fight and battle with these 3 people down here, and it looks like he's okay. Like one of them's limping and one's on his knees, and you know, their swords are down, and this guy's over here, he looks like he's fine, and he's collecting all these swords that he's won from this fight. So it's either you're hoping that through all this that you come out unscathed like this man, that you're able to pick up the pieces and put things back together, or you're able to pick up the pieces and build something new. You could also be hoping that you're able to strategize through this whole situation, this whole scenario, and that you're able to be the victor, that you're able to, like, especially if you're like trying to create and maintain an exit strategy, you've got hopes that you're able to do it. Now, the outcome of this, there is going to somewhat be a block or a delay in communication and or things taking off, because our outcome here is this 8 of Wands in reverse. So thankfully we've got another wand card and not another sword card. So, you know, this is like, you're coming out of this, you've got to make a decision. There's a decision that you will be making, but when you make it, you may be feeling like it's slow to take off, like there's restriction, or the timing's just not right. But keep in mind, you could also be just having a late start. You know, like you may think, oh, I'm going to try this or do this, and it's just kind of like something happens that it kind of pushes the time for you to start or take off a little bit farther back. That's all. So it's just a little slow delay. But there is victory at hand here, because I'm looking at the bottom of the deck. So there is victory. There is being in the spotlight. You could definitely have celebrity status here, because we've got at the bottom of the deck, we've got the 6 of Wands, King of Wands, the Star, and the Tower. So it's like, and this King of Wands is also looking in the past. He's looking back at something. But it's like this King of Wands and this 6 of Wands could be the same person, the same guy. So if you're dealing with a man, if there's a man in this scenario, he is and will be feeling victorious. Like he's accomplishing something. Now keep in mind too, he could also be very much in his ego. So just know that if he seems like he's very much in his ego, then he is all about being the center of attention and having all eyes on him. Pay attention to men when they are like that, because how they handle and how they maneuver through that situation, like how they show themselves, how they react to the attention, really reveals and says a lot about them and who they are deep down. So, but if this is like, this can really also, hold on, let this truck go by. So just so you know, the people, I live on a country road, and they fly by my house. Like that was a transfer truck, and I'm sure you heard how fast it was going by my house. But anyways, so if this is like a masculine that you're dealing with, just know that he is protective, he's innovative, he's inspiring, he's magnetic, he can have intense energy, but that's the King of Wands. There is a hope and a wish here with this person, and I feel like whatever this hope or wish is that's going to come true and work out with this if it's not necessarily a person, it could just be you in general. And I think I need to apply it as you in general. So now if it is a person, apply it, as the person. But now I'm going to switch gears. So just know that you can still, if this is a person, still plug it in. So either you are victorious, you're the victor in whatever this situation here is that went down. Okay? You are the victor in this. Look, there goes my rooster. You are victorious. You're able to triumph through this. You're going to have recognition. You should take pride in your accomplishments, but not in an egotistical form, okay? Be proud of yourself because you have really maneuvered through this and handled this very well. And I'm saying that because it shows, okay? You know how people say, like, you're from the 80s and you're from the 90s and it shows? Like, you've handled this here very well and it shows. Like, people are noticing you. And because of that, you're able to be innovative. You're able to, you know, inspire others, be a magnet for the things that you want. And there he goes again. So with that right there, be very careful about the things that you are wishing for at this moment, because they could very well come true, okay? Now, you taking the bull by the horns here and really steering and getting control of this situation and maneuvering it, even through a damn Mercury retrograde now, you've got hope, renewal, creativity, inspiration, generosity, and healing. And all of that right there is going to create a tower moment in your life, which is going to be intense and sudden change, like a release. So this is like a tower in a good way, because this is like letting go of this bullshit that's been over here in the past and embracing what's new and what's to come. Now, if this happens to be like you had a breakup with someone, you had a breakup, you freed yourself from this person. This person may not have been good for you, but now you're over here recovering from it. You are looking forward to the future about, you know, new options, and there are options coming in, and you are going to have a decision to make. So focus upon freedom and remaining true to letting go whatever it is that you were, you know, the old. All right, so I'm going to take about 5 minutes here and clarify some of this. What does this Four of Cups here have to do with? What does this Four of Cups have to do with? What does this Four of Cups have to do with? False person. So someone was not giving. Now this, I love this card right here. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. Because this man in the back over here, and then we've got wealthy man at the bottom. So there's an opportunity coming in here. Now keep in mind that someone in this dynamic is not being true. They're not telling you the right story or the right whatever. So the woman up here, she's got this fan over her face. Like she's, you know, she's got her poker face on. So that's the reason why I like this card, because even though there's a man in the background who's not being truthful and honest, she's up here not really revealing a whole lot about herself, but behind that face fan, she's, you know, playing her cards right. So she's got her poker face on. So here it is, you've got some type of offer coming in, and it could be from this false person. Looks like a wealthy man because he's at the bottom of the deck, but this is someone you have sat down with and had a conversation with. It may be someone you've got kids with, or that you thought you wanted to have kids with. But there's a pathway opening up here with this masculine that you need to play your cards right with him. You definitely need to play your cards right. You know, strategize with this one. If you broke free from this, you need to ask from, you know, in the past, you need to ask yourself, do you want to repeat this again? What is this Eight of Wands here? I mean, Eight of Swords in reverse. What is this Eight of Swords in reverse? Okay, so we have messages. So there could have been some messages going back and forth with this masculine. And it could have had money. They could have told you that in the past that they were going to help you out and give you some money or something. You expected it, and you thought the way you were going was going to lead you to this person giving you, this money. And I don't know if they just weren't, they may have just kind of been very mysterious on and off about how, you know, you could have gotten some money from someone to get this help or whatever, but it's almost like you really kind of like had to play it right. Like you may not have, like, you know, and this could be the part where too, when I went on a rant earlier about my job, you didn't know one day if it was going to be this way. You'd go in and the next day it's like, okay, I got this for you, and then it's like the next day, like, nope, you ain't getting shit. So it could have been you've just been having to take it day by day, and day by day has changed. You know, it's been a different story every day. What does the Six of Cups here in reverse have to do with? What does the Six of Cups have to do with? Alright, so whatever the situation is here, and it could again been involved around money, because we've got sudden wealth at the bottom. We've got concern, main male, and that false card again. So you could have, you know, been over here, like you've been very well taken care of, but it's like, and then and I would say too, your bills have gotten paid, but it's like someone here, and it could have very well been a man who was very concerned for you, or at least they acted like they were concerned, but it's like, you know, you didn't know if a bill was going to get paid or not. Just how they maneuvered and how they interacted, and, you know, the things they said, especially if you're dealing with the King of Wands, because, you know, a fire sign, because they can say one thing today, but something totally different tomorrow. Alright, what is this Queen of Cups here? What is this Queen of Cups here? What is this Queen of Cups here? This main male. So I'm just going to say this. You have some type of expectation with this male. There is a pathway or something opening up for him or for you and him. Now look, if this is someone you're trying to get away from, just know that there is going to be going back and forth to court. I don't know. Now this ain't going to be for everybody, okay? So don't shoot the messenger, because this ain't going to be for everybody. If this is someone that you are trying to get away from, then you may be having to go back and forth to the courthouse to file like a restraining order or something on them. And if that's the case, just know that at some point in time, they're probably going to break it, and they're more than likely going to end up in jail. So, you know, it might be a year of going back and forth with this SOB. So just know that, anyways, so now, and two, if you're not necessarily dealing with that situation, then you could have, you know, a man that you've got your attention on, that said he was going to help, and he's, you know, your boyfriend or just a lover, but there is some type of being stuck with something here in the courts dealing with this person. Now, that could just be like, they've got stuff like that going on in their life. It may not necessarily be between you and them. It could just be what's going on for them. What is this decision here? What does this Two of Wands here have to do with? What does this Two of Wands have to do with? Look, the fucking courthouse. So, I don't know what kind of decision you're going to have to make, but it looks like it involves the court. This is also 23, so condensed down to a 5. We've got the 5 of Pentacles there, being left out in the cold. So there's recovery or something here from being left out in the cold. Now, if it's not necessarily that you're going to have to go to court, then this is just having to really show on paper, or even like showing through text messages or email. This is what you said. This is the plan. This is what we're doing. There, and here we've got this sudden wealth again at the bottom. So there is some type of payout on the horizon the next 3 to 6 months or next 3 to 6 weeks. You may, in the meantime, feel like you are in poverty because of having a being withheld from something, but it is on its way. Just know it may take a little bit longer. What does this Chariot in reverse have to do with? What is this Chariot in reverse? The family room. Okay. So there's something that's you have been feeling like, you may have been feeling like your house, especially your living room or the room that you spend the most time, is really in disarray or dysfunction. So it could have been because of the holidays. You've had the Christmas lights and the Christmas tree up, and it was just a hot mess, and that could be the thing that really has you out of balance right now. So if you take the time to straighten it and organize it and clean it and get everything together, then I think that will help you feel a little bit better. You'll be able to focus more, and that focus is really going to clear out and change the energies for you and make it feel better. But there is a wealthy man here. We still have great fortune, and that main man is at the bottom. So there's something going down in your living room with this guy. So I don't know if you're going to be sitting down with him talking, and it's going to be a conversation that's just going to be, out of balance, out of whack. I don't know. This is a general collective reading. All right, what is this Nine of Swords here for? What is this Nine of Swords in the environment? There is a pathway. So there's something opening up here with whoever you're dealing with in your environment, that like whatever things that are causing stress in your environment, there is a pathway of transformation and change opening up for them. So you've got like, I don't know if you feel like something stole this guy from you, but you are the main female in the situation here. You might feel like if someone, it could have been that the people around you or a job or something kind of took him and his time and energy away, and it makes you feel like you were left out in the cold. Okay, what is this Eight of Wands here in reverse? Oh, shit. Hold on. I saw this card here in my mind's eye when I was shuffling. So, it could be that there's a change here. I want to shuffle this one again, just to be safe, because all those cards fell out. What is this Eight of Wands here? What is this Eight of Wands in reverse? What is this Eight of Wands in reverse? Now, it could definitely be that because, things are being delayed because someone's not being truthful. We had false person, and now we've got imprisonment. Someone is stuck to either an outdated way of thinking, an outdated mindset, something. It could be involved around money. This is a lover or someone you've dated. Maybe even, so like if this person lived with you, then they changed residences. So it could be that you kicked them out. And it could be too that, they are having to go somewhere else and live where they feel like, yeah, something ended. We've got the Coffin, official person, marriage, and thief. So you could have had plans or thought that you were going to marry this person, but something came along and really, something like stole something from whatever dynamic you had in that situation. Whether it was like a job came in and took away their time and attention, and then it put a strain on your relationship, and it kind of changed the relationship into a way you didn't want it. And then you're like, okay, well, now this isn't going to work out because I don't want this type of... You could have at one point thought, okay, I could marry this person. I want to be with this person. And then something like Mercury retrograde could have come along and threw a wrench in it and just changed things up to where now you're like, okay, yeah, no, I don't want to marry this person. I'm glad I did not marry this person. So it's like, it almost seems as though they had to, their house and where they lived changed. Something with that changed. So either they were living with you and they left and went somewhere else, or they're where they are right now and they're going somewhere else. But there is a definite change here of residency. Now, I will tell you this, because of this delay here, it could be that there is a delay around them leaving. Give me another message on this Eight of Wands. What is this delay around this? What does the delay have to do with? What does the delay have to do with? Okay, well, maybe they get some money and they're like, because here's this great fortune card coming out again. They could get some money and, good Lord, yep. And they're like, well, you know, so it could be that at one point in time, you know, they had like a financial downfall. They could have gotten sick or something, or they had a child get sick, because we've got the child card here. They could have gotten sick and had some bad health where they had to take time off from work and they weren't making as much money. But now it's like they've recovered. Now their money is getting back straight, and it could be that, you know, they offer you more money, or they're able to start investing more money into the relationship. So that may make you decide to change your mind, because that makes you more happy. And then we've got this change card, so maybe they're coming back, moving back in. And then once they move back in, then you're like, oh, now I'm stuck with this motherfucker. So anyways, that's what I have for you. Please feel free to comment and let me know your situation and if this resonated and how this story pans out. Because, you know, once these Kipper cards come out, boy, it gets wonky from there. Anyways, hopefully you understand what I'm saying. So if you like this reading, please feel free to pop over to my Facebook page, which is The Urban Woman. I think in the little link at the top, it's like The Urban Woman 222, because I do oracle readings over there, and I'm about to do another one right after this. So if you like readings from me, I've got more over there as well. And if this is where I leave you, take care, namaste, and I'll see you again here next week.